Imagine this. The cameras cut to Pat McAfee's set. The energy is buzzing. And then boom, Stefon Diggs drops a line that sends shockwaves through the entire sports world. With a smirk on his face and that signature confidence in his voice, Diggs leans forward and declares Travis Hunter is a generational talent. The studio erupts. But what no one could have predicted is the storm that comment would unleash. Suddenly, it's not just a compliment, it's a spark. A spark that ignites debates across locker rooms, sports bars, Twitter feeds, and even within families torn between loyalty and hype. But here's where it gets wild. Insiders whisper that Diggs' praise wasn't just about Hunter's talent. Some claim it was a jab at veterans who fought tooth and nail for recognition. Others say Deion Sanders himself orchestrated the entire moment. Knowing that one viral soundbite could fuel his Colorado empire and silence critics once and for all. And just when you think it's all harmless banter, rumors begin swirling. Did Diggs cross a line? Did he set off a chain reaction that could divide the NFL brotherhood itself? Fans are shocked. Tensions are rising. And what started as a casual talk show remark might just explode into the biggest drama of the season. The studio air was still thick from the moment Stefon Diggs let those words slip. And the energy around Pat McAfee's desk was electric. Viewers at home were glued to their screens, jaws on the floor, and Twitter was already flooding with reactions. Travis Hunter is a generational talent. That phrase kept echoing like a chant. But behind the curtain, emotions were boiling. What seemed like a simple statement was about to turn into a story of pride. Jealousy, ambition, and betrayal. Pat leaned back, trying to play the peacemaker with his trademark grin. But you could sense he too knew something had shifted. His crew chuckled nervously, tossing quick one-liners to break the tension. But the audience could feel that something bigger was brewing. Stefon, looking dead serious now, doubled down. I'm not playing, bro. This kid ain't just good. He's different. Deion knows it. The whole world better get ready. The words landed heavy. And the room buzzed with the weight of them. Within minutes, social media exploded. NFL veterans were posting cryptic emojis. Some laughed it off, while others made no effort to hide their irritation. One tweet read, "Respect the ones who paved the way first." Another said, "Talent comes and goes. Legends prove it." It was obvious to fans watching that certain players felt Diggs had crossed an unspoken line, praising a college kid on national TV as if he had already eclipsed those grinding in the league. That didn't sit right with everyone. Inside Travis Hunter's world, it was chaos. Friends called his phone nonstop, screaming with excitement. Teammates congratulated him, some with genuine smiles, others with a hidden edge of envy. And at the center of it all, Travis sat in stunned silence. His family gathered around him in the living room, replaying the clip again and again. His mother's eyes welled with tears, her hand clutching his shoulder. "Baby, do you realize what this means?" she whispered, trembling between pride and fear. "People are going to expect more than ever." Travis nodded slowly, but inside, his stomach twisted. He knew this spotlight came with a heavy price. Meanwhile, Deion Sanders was watching too. The head coach leaned back in his office chair, a knowing smile creeping across his face. He had orchestrated hype before, but this was gold. He saw it as fuel to light the fire under Colorado's program, a way to cement his team in the headlines for weeks. Yet, Deion also understood the dangers. When praise turns into pressure, cracks begin to form. And he knew Travis was still just a young man, vulnerable to the weight of a nation's eyes. Still, in true prime fashion, Deion relished the chaos. "They wanted a show," he muttered under his breath. "Well, they're about to get one." But behind that confidence was a ripple of trouble. Rumors spread quickly that Stefon's comment was less about uplifting Travis and more about throwing shade at unnamed veterans. Whispers in locker rooms claimed he had targeted wide receivers who had once overshadowed him in the league, fueling a new fire of resentment. Suddenly, names were being tossed around players who felt personally insulted by the so-called generational crown being handed to a kid who hadn't even touched NFL turf yet. The resentment grew sharper with each passing hour. By the next morning, sports talk shows across the country had latched onto the drama. Analysts argued heatedly, one side praising Diggs for recognizing talent early, the other condemning him for disrespecting those who had paid their dues. Fans called in with emotional takes, some screaming that Travis was the future, others swearing he hadn't proven anything. The country was split down the middle. The Hunter household could feel the pressure mounting by the second. "You don't understand," Travis snapped at his cousin during breakfast, his voice unsteady. "I didn't ask for this. Now, if I make one mistake, they're gonna clown me. They're gonna say I was overrated." His cousin shot back, "Bro, this is your chance. Own it. Don't act scared now." The argument grew tense, voices rising, family members trying to step in. Emotions ran high, and suddenly, what should have been a moment of celebration turned into a family feud. The weight of Diggs' words was already tearing at Travis' closest circle. Across the league, reactions kept pouring in. A former Pro Bowl receiver posted a fiery Instagram story, "Respect ain't given, it's earned. Let the kid ball before we crown him." Fans screenshot it instantly, speculating who it was aimed at. Others piled on, accusing Diggs of favoritism, pointing to rumors of personal ties with Deion. Was this just hype or a carefully orchestrated publicity stunt? Conspiracy theories ran rampant. Deion must have told Diggs to say that, one fan posted. "This is primetime marketing 101. Another retorted, "Nah, Diggs is just being real. Y'all can't handle the truth." The drama didn't stop there. Sources close to Stefon leaked that he received calls from other players demanding to know why he made that statement. One insider claimed a heated conversation took place between Diggs and a veteran wideout, where voices were raised and harsh words exchanged. "You think he's better than all of us already?" "Better than me," the veteran reportedly shouted. Diggs fired back, "I said what I said. If you feel threatened, that's on you." That argument left scars, and the league was now buzzing with tension that felt almost personal as the days passed. Travis found himself the unwilling star of a narrative spiraling beyond his control. Every practice rep, every move he made was dissected and shared online. A dropped ball turned into memes. A highlight catch turned into endless replays with captions, like generational. The pressure was suffocating. One night, sitting in his room with the blinds drawn, he confided to a teammate over the phone, "I feel like I'm drowning, man. I didn't even do anything. Why do I feel like I'm letting everyone down already?" His voice cracked, revealing the fragile human beneath the hype. Deion, sensing the cracks in his young star, tried to step in. He called Travis into his office, sitting him down with a stern but fatherly tone. "Listen, son, this ain't about them. This is about you. You control your story. Don't let nobody else write it for you." Travis nodded, trying to absorb the words, but deep down, he knew the narrative had already spun out of his hands. The world wasn't waiting for him to prove himself. It was demanding it. And that demand felt heavier than he could carry. Back on the Pat McAfee show, the fallout continued. Callers lit up the phone lines, debating not just about talent, but about respect, legacy, and pride. Pat, always looking for the next viral moment, leaned into the drama, replaying the clip of Diggs again and again, hyping up reactions, feeding the fire. The clip turned into one of the most replayed segments of the year, cementing itself in internet history. But what nobody realized was that this wasn't just about football anymore. It was about loyalty, rivalry, and the fragile egos that came with greatness. As the first week of fallout came to a close, tensions only escalated. More veterans spoke out, more fans chose sides. And Travis Hunter found himself standing on the edge of a storm that threatened to consume everything he worked for. What started as a compliment had now become a test of his very identity. Would he rise above the chaos, or would the crushing weight of expectation drag him under? And that's where the story took its next shocking turn. The shocking turn arrived during Colorado's next big game. One that already had national eyes glued on it. The stadium pulsed with anticipation, cameras flashing every time Travis Hunter walked onto the field. Chants of generational echoed from one section, while another booed loudly, mocking the hype. It was like the entire football world had split in two, and Travis stood in the middle of a battleground. His teammates clapped his shoulder pads, telling him they had his back, but some of their eyes betrayed doubt. Even within his locker room, whispers had begun to spread. Was Travis really ready to live up to all of this? From the first snap, the pressure was suffocating. Every time the ball came his way, the crowd roared with expectation. One spectacular catch had fans screaming in euphoria, replaying it instantly on their phones. But then came a slip, a dropped ball that should have been routine. Gasps filled the air, followed by cruel laughter from rival fans. "Generational, huh?" one shouted from the front row. The moment cut through Travis like a knife. On the sideline, he slammed his helmet down, his hands shaking with frustration. Deion grabbed him firmly by the arm, whispering words only the cameras couldn't pick up. But his stern gaze said enough. "Compose yourself, or this moment will break you in the stands." His mother covered her face with her hands, torn between pride and panic. His father, stoic but tense, muttered under his breath, "He's too young for this circus." Siblings argued in hushed voices, one saying, "This is amazing. He's proving himself," while the other countered, "No, this is too much. They're setting him up to fail." The family was left divided, their voices trembling as they watched Travis' every move, as if their own hearts were strapped to his cleats. Meanwhile, in NFL locker rooms across the country, emotions boiled. Some veterans texted each other play-by-play commentary, laughing when Travis stumbled, scowling when he excelled. One veteran, furious at the attention, reportedly threw his phone across the room after seeing Travis' highlight catch replayed for the 10th time on ESPN. "This is ridiculous," he barked. "One kid gets a catch and they call him generational. I've been grinding for a decade, and I don't get this love." Teammates tried calming him down, but his bitterness was palpable. The divide between past accomplishments and future hype had never been sharper. Back on the field, Travis fought with everything in him. He caught another pass, dodged defenders, and sprinted down the sideline with a fire in his eyes. The crowd roared again, but instead of celebrating, Travis clenched his fists, almost angry at the noise. When he returned to the bench, he muttered to himself, "They don't love me. They love the story." His words went unheard, but the frustration etched on his face told a deeper story, one of a young man trapped in a spotlight that was burning him alive. After the game, the press swarmed Deion. Microphones were shoved in his face, reporters demanding to know if Travis had lived up to the generational label. Deion, never one to shy away, leaned into the controversy. "Y'all saw what you saw," he said coolly. "Greatness ain't measured in one night. It's measured in a lifetime. Y'all better get used to hearing his name." The crowd of reporters buzzed, scribbling furiously, some smirking at the way Deion had once again spun the narrative to his advantage. But in the locker room, Travis sat silently in his corner, head down, headphones on, drowning out the chaos. Tears threatened, but he blinked them back, determined not to let anyone see the cracks forming while Travis battled his inner storm. Stefon Diggs was dealing with his own fallout. The league wasn't letting his comments slide. Rumors swirled of confrontations in training camps, of players confronting him face to face. "You think that kid is better than me? Than us?" one shouted during a heated scrimmage. Diggs, never backing down, snapped back, "If the shoe fits." Where it fists nearly flew before coaches stepped in, dragging players apart. The tension was undeniable, and word of the altercation leaked instantly to reporters. Fans were shocked, but the drama only fueled their obsession. Hashtags like #GenerationalGate and #DiggsDrama trended for days, keeping the story alive long after the game ended. Travis's friends weren't immune to the storm either. At school, people treated them differently. Some wanted inside stories, others accused them of riding his coattails. One close friend confessed during a late-night call. "Bro, I don't even know how to act around you anymore. It's like you're not Travis the homie, you're Travis the headline." That confession stung worse than any tackle. Travis realized that fame wasn't just isolating him from strangers, it was eroding his most intimate relationships. He started to wonder if being called generational was a blessing or a curse. The narrative grew darker when a former NFL analyst made a bold claim on live television. "I don't think Travis can handle this. He's cracking under the pressure. And I'll say it did set him up. Whether intentionally or not, he painted a target on that kid's back." The statement sent shockwaves through the sports world. Was Diggs to blame? Had his words unintentionally sabotaged Travis's career before it even began? Fans debated fiercely, some defending Diggs, others calling him reckless. The Hunter family, watching from their living room, was torn apart once again. His uncle slammed the table, shouting Diggs ruined everything for him, while his aunt defended, no, he gave him a gift. This is the kind of exposure players dream of. The shouting match escalated until family members stormed out, slamming doors, leaving the house heavy with silence. Through it all, Deion remained steadfast, publicly defending Travis, but privately wrestling with the truth. He knew the media frenzy was wearing on his young star. He saw it in Travis's body language, the way his shoulders slumped after practices, the emptiness in his eyes. Late one night, Deion called Stefon personally. The conversation was tense. "You know what you did, man?" Deion said quietly. Stefon shot back. "I spoke the truth. Don't act like you didn't want this." Silence hung for a moment before Deion responded. "Truth or not, the kid's the one paying the price." Stefon's voice softened, but his pride wouldn't let him back down. Greatness ain't easy. If he's really generational, he'll survive this. If not, then he never was. The call ended abruptly. Neither man satisfied, both left with the weight of what they'd unleashed. As the controversy raged, fans became more polarized than ever. Some flooded Travis socials with messages of support, calling him the future of football. Others mocked him relentlessly, creating memes comparing his mistakes to NFL legends. One particularly cruel video went viral, splicing his dropped passes with sarcastic captions like generational talent. The backlash reached Travis directly, and one night, scrolling through his phone, tossed it across the room in frustration. "I didn't ask for this," he muttered, his voice breaking. "Why won't they just let me play?" His roommate sat quietly, unsure how to comfort him. The weight of fame pressing heavily in the silence. Just when it seemed the storm might finally fade, another twist erupted. A former teammate of Travis leaked private messages to the media where Travis had vented about the pressure. One screenshot showed him writing, "Sometimes I wish Diggs never said anything. It ruined everything." The leak sent shockwaves once again, pleading Travis as ungrateful as if he had turned against the man who praised him. Fans clashed online, debating whether the leak was betrayal or truth-telling. Travis felt exposed, betrayed by someone he once trusted. Who did this? He demanded in the locker room, his voice shaking with rage. Teammates avoided his eyes, the room heavy with suspicion. Trust had shattered, and the drama had officially crossed from hype into pure scandal. And as if the fire needed more fuel, insiders whispered of another confrontation brewing this time. Not between veterans and Diggs, but between Diggs himself and Deion Sanders. Both men stubborn, both unwilling to bend, and both fiercely protective of their legacies. The collision course was set, and the world was waiting for the explosion. And that explosion was exactly what came next. The explosion came in the form of a surprise interview that nobody saw coming. Deion Sanders, sitting in a polished studio chair, leaned forward with his trademark shades reflecting the lights. The host pressed him on the feud, asking point-blank, "Coach Prime, is it true you and Stefon Diggs aren't seeing eye to eye after his comments about Travis Hunter?" The studio fell silent, waiting for his answer. Deion paused, smirked, and then dropped the line that would send the sports world into chaos. "I respect Stefon, but let's get something straight. Nobody uses my players for clout. If you're going to call someone generational, Better be ready to stand on it when the heat comes. The clip went viral within minutes. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. Was Deion accusing Diggs of clout chasing? The internet lit up with speculation. And the media framed it as the first open shot in a war between the NFL star and the college coaching legend. Stefon, never one to stay quiet, fired back on Instagram Live later that night. Pacing his living room with his phone in hand, he vented directly to his audience. "Clout, man, please. I don't need clout. I spoke facts, and now everyone's acting like I created this circus. If Deion's mad, that's on him. I stand by what I said. Travis is that dude. Period." Fans flooded the comments with fire emojis, others with laughing faces, some urging him to calm down. But it was too late. The beef was public, and now the drama had transcended Travis himself. It was a battle of pride between two giants, each unwilling to back down. In the Hunter household, the family was glued to the screen, watching the drama unfold like a soap opera they couldn't escape. Travis's mother shook her head, whispering, "This is tearing him apart. They're fighting over him like he's a trophy." His father muttered, "And nobody's asking how he fees. L's about it." Travis sat in silence, his stomach tight. He was supposed to be the center of all this, yet he felt invisible, like his voice didn't matter. The world had turned his name into a weapon, and he had no say in the battle being waged around him. Back in Colorado's locker room, the tension was palpable. Teammates avoided mentioning the drama, but everyone had seen the clips, read the headlines, and debated it in hushed tones. One player whispered, "Yo, what if this ruins our season? Every camera's on us now." Another shot back, "Nah, this is Prime's plan. More attention means more power." But behind the bravado, unease simmered. They were a team divided, unsure if the spotlight would push them to greatness or crush them under its glare. Then came the shocking twist that nobody expected. Reports surfaced of an anonymous veteran wide receiver one with a Hall of Fame resume who had privately called Deion, offering to mentor Travis. The veteran's motivation, however, was unclear. Was it genuine concern for the young star, or a subtle jab at Stefon for elevating him too soon? Whispers suggested the call ended with Deion saying, "We'll see." Once the story leaked, fans speculated wildly. Is he trying to steal the spotlight? Is this revenge against Diggs? The rumors spread like wildfire, adding yet another layer of intrigue. While grown men argued and plotted, Travis was spiraling. One night after practice, he confided in a teammate, his voice breaking. "I can't sleep, bro. I feel like no matter what I do, it won't be enough. If I play perfect, they'll say I'm overrated. If I mess up, they'll laugh. I don't even know who I am anymore." His teammate patted his shoulder, but the words offered little comfort. Travis was living in a storm with no shelter in sight. To make matters worse, the betrayal from his leaked messages still haunted him. He scrolled through his phone late at night, trying to figure out who had exposed him. One name came to mind, a childhood friend he trusted like a brother. The thought crushed him, and he debated sending a text, demanding answers. But his pride stopped him. Instead, he clenched his phone, whispering bitterly, "They used me." In that moment, the fame that once felt like a dream now felt like a prison, with betrayal lurking around every corner. As the feud escalated, the media seized the narrative. Sports talk shows framed it as Deion versus Diggs, while gossip blogs spun it into a saga about loyalty and betrayal. Memes mocked both sides, painting Deion as an overprotective father figure and Diggs as a reckless instigator. Fans were divided into camps, hashtags flying back and forth, hashtag Team Diggs and hashtag Team Prime. But almost nobody asked the question that mattered most. How was Travis holding up? He was the centerpiece of the drama. Yet his own voice was drowned out by the noise. The tension boiled over during a Colorado practice, when cameras caught Travis storming off the field after a heated argument with a teammate. The teammate, frustrated with the constant spotlight, had snapped, "You think you're bigger than the team now?" Travis fired back, "I never asked for this." The shouting match turned physical before coaches separated them. Reporters who witnessed the scuffle wasted no time publishing the story. Team chemistry in shambles. The headlines screamed. Fans were shocked yet again. And critics pounced on the chaos as proof that Travis wasn't ready for the generational tag. That night, Deion held a closed-door meeting with the team, his voice booming with intensity. "Y'all think the cameras make you stars? Wrong. The work makes you stars. If you can't handle the noise, get out now." His speech stirred the room. Some players nodding in agreement, others silently resentful. Travis sat with his head down, guilt and anger battling inside him. He wanted to scream that none of this was his fault, but the words stayed trapped in his throat. Instead, he clenched his fists and prayed for the storm to pass. But the storm only grew darker when Stefon Diggs made a surprise appearance at Colorado's next game. Cameras caught him on the sidelines, cheering loudly for Travis. Fans erupted, some cheering his presence, others booing him for fueling the chaos. When Travis caught a touchdown pass, Diggs leaped into the air, screaming with joy. But instead of relief, Travis felt pressure spike through his chest. He knew every camera was capturing Diggs' reaction. Every highlight would be framed around the narrative of his generational label. It was no longer about his play, it was about living up to someone else's proclamation. After the game, Deion approached Diggs on the field. Microphones swarmed, capturing the moment. Their exchange was tense, their body language stiff. "We gotta talk," Deion muttered, his smile tight. Diggs replied with equal firmness. "Yeah, we do." They shook hands. But the grip was crushing, their eyes locked in silent battle. Fans watching at home could feel the tension radiating off the screen. This wasn't a handshake, it was a warning shot. Later that night, Trey sat alone in his dorm, scrolling through endless takes online. One comment stood out, cutting deeper than the rest. "Travis Hunter will never live up to the hype. He's just a pawn in a grown man's ego war." The words hit like a punch to the gut. For the first time, Travis wondered if they were right. Was he just a pawn? Was his identity swallowed by a battle that had nothing to do with him? The thought haunted him, leaving him restless, staring at the ceiling long into the night. And just when the storm seemed unbearable, a shocking betrayal shattered the fragile balance completely. A leaked audio clip surfaced, allegedly of Stefon Diggs on a private call, saying, "Look, I love the kid, but this drama helps me too. My name stays in the headlines, and that's good for business." The internet erupted. Fans were outraged. Had Stefon been playing everyone all along? Had he used Travis as a pawn in his own game? Emotions ran high, and the backlash was immediate. The Hunter family was livid. His mother shouted through tears, "He used my baby." His father paced the room, fists clenched. Travis, meanwhile, sat in silence, numb. Betrayal had reached its peak. The man who had put him on the pedestal might have been the same man who set him up for failure, and the fallout from that betrayal would set the stage for the most dramatic showdown. Yet, the fallout from the leaked audio hit like an earthquake. Within hours, every sports network, gossip, blog, and social media platform was dissecting Stefon Diggs' words. "This drama helps me too." Those 6 words echoed like a confession, proof to many that his praise of Travis Hunter was less about genuine belief and more about feeding his own spotlight. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the entire narrative shifted. Suddenly, Stefon wasn't the hero who recognized young greatness. He was the villain who used a college kid as his personal marketing tool. Travis sat in his dorm room, headphones on, trying to drown out the noise. But even with music blasting, he couldn't escape it. Every time he refreshed his phone, there it was. Memes mocking him as a puppet, hashtags dragging his name through the mud. His closest friends texted him frantically, some defending Stefon, others urging him to cut ties. One message read, "Bro, you gotta speak up. Don't let them clown you like this." But Travis couldn't bring himself to type a single word. He felt cornered, betrayed, and utterly powerless. Deion Sanders, however, wasn't about to let the storm swallow his player. At a fiery press conference, he addressed the scandal head-on. "Let me tell y'all something," he said, voice steady but eyes blazing behind his shades. "My players are not props. They are men. Men with dreams, with futures. Anyone who thinks they can use my guys for their own agenda will have to answer to me." The reporters erupted with questions, but Deion waved them off and stormed out, leaving the room buzzing with tension. Fans cheered his defense, but critics accused him of escalating the feud. Either way, Prime had drawn his line in the sand. Stefon Diggs, cornered by the backlash, tried to do damage control. He posted a video on social media sitting in his car, eyes tired but defiant. "Y'all twisting my words? I never meant it like that. I got nothing but love for Travis. Everything I said about him being generational, I stand by it. Don't let some edited clip fool you." But the damage was already done. Fans flooded the comments with snake emojis, accusing him of backpedaling. Some still defended him, insisting he was being framed, but the majority had turned. The hero to villain arc was complete. And Stefon's credibility hung by a thread. The Hunter family, once divided, was now united by fury. His mother, in tears, told a local reporter, "We trusted him. We believed he had Travis back. And now we find out it was just for headlines." His father's anger boiled over in private, punching a hole in the wall of their living room. Siblings debated whether Travis should cut off all contact with Diggs. But Travis himself remained silent, withdrawn, his emotions buried beneath exhaustion. He didn't want to fight anymore. He just wanted peace. But peace was impossible. The media frenzy had reached a fever pitch, and the feud between Deion and Stefon demanded a climax. Organizers of a high-profile charity event saw an opportunity. They invited both men to appear on stage together, framing it as a chance to reconcile for the sake of the kids. Fans anticipated fireworks, and tickets sold out instantly. The night of the event, cameras swarmed as Deion and Stefon stepped onto the stage, microphones in hand. The air so tense it felt like it could snap at first. The conversation was civil, both men carefully choosing their words. Stefon insisted, "I never wanted to hurt Travis. I wanted to uplift him." Deion replied sharply, "Then why does he feel used? Why does my player feel betrayed?" The crowd murmured, leaning forward, hanging on every word. Stefon raised his hands defensively. "Y'all act like I'm the bad guy here. All I did was speak the truth. Is it my fault the media ran with it?" Deion shot back, his voice thunderous. "When you speak, you know the world listens. You don't get to play innocent when a young man's life is on the line." The exchange escalated, voices rising, the audience gasping with every barb. Finally, Stefon snapped. "Maybe Travis ain't cut out for this if one compliment ruins him?" The crowd erupted in shock, boos raining down. Deion ripped off his shades, glaring with intensity. "You don't ever disrespect my player like that." For a moment, it seemed fists might fly. Organizers rushed onto the stage, trying to defuse the confrontation. The event ended in chaos, the so-called reconciliation turning into the most dramatic clash yet. For Travis, watching from home, it was the breaking point. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered to himself, "They don't care about me. They just care about winning their fight." The realization crushed him. But it also sparked something new inside, a determination to take back his narrative. That night, he sat down with his phone, opened his notes app, and began typing. The next morning, his post shook the sports world. "I never asked for this label. I never asked to be called generational. I just want to play football. I respect Stefon, I respect Coach Prime, but I need everyone to understand this isn't about them. It's about me chasing my dream. So please, let me write my own story." The post went viral instantly. Fans flooded him with support, praising his maturity, his honesty, his courage. For the first time, the conversation shifted away from the feud and onto Travis himself. Yet, not everyone was convinced. Critics claimed the statement was written by a publicist. Others argued it was too little too late. Some even accused him of playing the victim card. The noise didn't disappear, but the tides had changed. Travis was no longer just a pawn. He had finally spoken, and people were listening. Still, the damage lingered. Relationships were fractured, trust was broken, and the spotlight remained suffocating. Stefon's reputation took a hit. Deion doubled down on protecting his players. And Travis continued to fight the silent battles of expectation and identity. The season pressed on, but the scars of the drama lingered with every game, every headline, every whisper, and as fans looked ahead, they couldn't help but wonder, was this just the beginning of Travis Hunter's saga? Or had the storm already rewritten his legacy forever? The stage was set for either redemption or ruin, and the world waited breathlessly for the next chapter. And so, here we are, caught in the aftermath of one of the most shocking, dramatic, and downright unbelievable sagas in recent sports memory. What started as a single comment on a talk show spiraled into feuds. Betrayals, tears, and confrontations that shook families, divided fans, and left careers hanging in the balance. Stefon Diggs' words, Travis Hunter is a generational talent turned into a wildfire that scorched everything in its path. Deion Sanders stood his ground like a lion protecting his cub, while Travis himself struggled beneath the crushing weight of expectations that he never asked for. The Hunter family was left divided, friendships were tested, and the entire sports world is still buzzing with the fallout. But here's the real question: where does it go from here? Will Travis rise above the chaos and prove that he is, in fact, everything the hype promised? Or will the pressure drag him down, leaving him another cautionary tale of talent swallowed by drama? Will Deion and Stefon ever reconcile? Or has this feud carved a permanent line in the sand? And most importantly, was Stefon's praise genuine? Or was it always about clout and headlines? We may not have all the answers yet. But one thing's for sure, this story is far from over. And the next chapter could be even more explosive than what we've seen so far. So now, it's over to you. Do you think Travis Hunter will live up to the generational tag? Or has the hype already gone too far? Was Stefon Diggs a supporter or a manipulator in disguise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear every theory, every prediction, and every hot take. And if you've been hooked by the drama, don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Because trust me, the saga of Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders, and Stefon Diggs is just heating up, and you'll want to be here when the next bombshell drops.